Coming up, we're going to a galaxy far, far away. Join us as we dissect the Super Mario Galaxy movie. Stay tuned.
Your king has returned! The king!
The Bowser name shall be feared once more!
Oh no!
Welcome to the Morgue, where we dissect the latest and greatest in the world of entertainment. And we are your hosts, Arturo Padilla, along with Mr. Nick Valdez. Before we get started, do not forget to hit that subscribe button, that thumbs up, and that bell. That way you know when all these videos are dropping. Tex, how you doing today, man?
Oh man, howdy everybody, howdy Arturo. Let's get into this, the Super Mario Galaxy movie. So Super Mario Brothers made its official movie debut, or animated movie debut, I should say, back in 2023, made like $1 billion. So naturally we have a sequel finally coming out, Super Mario Galaxy, and they're going to space. And that's the whole thing. You have Princess Rosalina from the Mario Galaxy game showing up. And then shenanigans happens. You know, Yoshi was teased in the post-credit scene of the first one. Yoshi's here playing a huge part. Bowser Jr. shows up because, you know, Bowser got turned tiny and was beaten in the first one. So now his son's back to get revenge. And that's kind of the movie. You know, Bowser Jr. kidnaps Rosalina, and then the Mario Brothers and Peach go after her. And yeah, like I guess like getting into this, right? Full spoilers for the Super Mario Galaxy movie. That includes like any secrets or surprises. I would say just right off the bat, if you're a Nintendo head like I am, which I am, like I like part of the fun of this movie is kind of seeing like all the references, hearing all the musical cues, seeing any characters or surprise guest characters that show up. So if you haven't been able to catch it yourself and kind of want to keep blind of that, just be aware that we are fully spoiling this thing, because that's unfortunately the fun of this. You know, I will say, like, we kind of have to compliment sandwich this. Like, yeah, like there's a lot of fun Easter eggs and shout outs and stuff. But Arturo, I think you'll agree in that it's not really much movie here.
Yeah, like it's funny. You mentioned a couple of the plot points that pretty much is the entire movie, but it still feels like there's a lot being thrown at you. And you have to kind of keep up. I'm not a big Nintendo person. My kids are. I know Tex is a huge fan of Nintendo, as you mentioned. So I'm trying to keep up here, right? I know the Mario Brothers. I know the essential cast of part one pretty much. But here we have a whole lot of characters, and you're thrown like just stuff all the time. New stuff, new stuff, new stuff, new stuff. And they're kind of hoping that you know all these characters and that you know exactly what's going on. And I was like, okay, that's cool. But as a person who's not too familiar with the entire cast of the Super Mario Galaxy world, I was a little bit lost, honestly. I felt a little lost, and I think because of that, it felt a little long for me too, because I was trying to just keep up with everything. You know what I mean? Like very early on, you're thrown in with the brothers jumping around that desert world, right? Which again, quick aside, everything looked fantastic. So I'm not going to say anything bad about the look whatsoever.
I don't think you can, because like if you tried to like say that it wasn't at least visually appealing, you'd be lying.
They put everything into that, and even Rosalina's dress. There's a moment where she's hugging Peach, right? And you know, the dresses just look so lifelike, and I was like, oh my God, that is wild. But anyways, all that aside,
honestly, like take the tangent real quick, because like visually, like dude, we have to keep praising it a little bit more, because
it is absolutely stunning. I didn't see it in a premium format, and I kind of wish I did, because like the detail that you can see in every shot is absolutely astounding, honestly. I know that we've gotten Avatar Way of Water, and we've gotten, you know, Spider-Verse, and Mutant Mayhem, but there's something so clean about the animation in these Mario movies that you just have to just drop your jaw when you see all the crispy details on this
Yeah.
screen, man. From Bowser to Star Fox to the space to the different planets to the different locations. It was very, very impressive. And that actually kept me engaged throughout the movie because of all the different scenery. So, yes, it does throw you and bombard you with a lot of different characters and colors and just different little Easter eggs about the Nintendo universe, but everything is just captivating. Um,
Yes.
I didn't know what was going on a lot of the times, and I'm like, okay, cool. But visually, I was totally in it. Tex, visually, did you find anything just like absolutely extraordinary visually?
I like, just as an aside, like, yeah, like when you go back and look at that first one is like impressive, right? You're like, oh yeah, like it manages to adapt Mario stuff and it looks really good. But like in the second one, they really did blow everything up in terms of the scale and the scope and like just the size of a lot of these things, like you get a ton of different Mario locations. They, like Arturo said, they do. Funny enough, it is kind of like, it's paced like a Mario game. Like it's like it's like you go through the sand level, right? And then you
Yeah,
beat that, you clear the sand level,
that's a
and
good way to put it. Yep.
there's a montage in this where they kind of do different levels in the Mushroom Kingdom, and it's laid out like the Super Mario World map, and like you see them beating a bunch of like little enemies and stuff like that through each little thing. But
Yeah.
that's kind of the whole movie, right? It's like, you'll see one character's doing something, and then it'll jump cut to characters doing something else in a different location. Then it's going to jump cut to like baby Mario and Luigi, running away from a dinosaur because Yoshi's Island, it needs to be referenced. And like
Yeah.
the thing is, like it looks super cool, and all these references are awesome and all that stuff. But like, I can't keep going back to what Arturo was saying, where it's like, it's throwing all this stuff at you, and while it's kind of like it's the Mickey Mouse issue, Arturo, where it's like, arguably Mario is like that kind of big icon that
Yeah. 100%.
you don't need a lot of work to like know. It's like, yeah, you'll know Mario and Peach, but then you're right. Then you get stuff like Rosalina, which is like, yes, arguably she has been popular since like, what was it, 2000 whatever, when Mario Galaxy came out, but she's not one of like, I don't know if this is like sacrilege or whatever, but it's like, yeah, she's not the recognizable one, right? It's
No,
like, it's
agreed.
Mario, Peach, and Luigi, right?
Yes,
And
agreed. But there's also like a bunch of princesses, and it can get kind of confusing. But
yes,
Rosalina, Tex, I know a lot of these characters, not just because of my youth with NES, right?
right.
But Super Smash Brothers, honestly, is where I first learned of Rosalina, and I'm like, who is this lady, and why is she so strong, and why is she kicking my ass?
Yeah, because she's like the princess of the galaxy. That's the whole thing. And like, it's cool because like she gets a great intro, for like, honestly, for like the first third of the movie, it's really paced like the first one, and you're like, oh, okay, it's not bad. You get a cool action scene with Rosalina. She gets kidnapped. You get introduced to Bowser Jr. You get reintroduced to Mario and Luigi. Yoshi comes along, and it's like, yeah, it's like, oh, it's working out. You're fine. You're introducing these characters that we're going to see. But then once again, like Arturo said, it starts the rapid fire Mario level pace of like, okay, Peach and Toad go to rescue Rosalina. But while that, Mario and Luigi are protecting the Mushroom Kingdom. But then while it cuts away to Peach and Toad having a big ninja fight in a casino against Super Mario Brothers 2 characters. And you're like, okay. And then like while they're chasing another person, it cuts to Mario and Luigi turning into babies. And you're like, all right. And then going back to your initial, like going back even further in the conversation, Arturo, where you talk about visuals, talk about Star Fox, who just randomly shows up, and honestly makes a lot of sense, like for this Mario movie, because you're like whatever, you're just like, here's another.
Yeah, he's the Han Solo guy, like
yes,
like in episode 4, he's just there. He's like, oh, I need a pilot. All right, kid.
They need a way to yes, they need a way to get to a distant planet. It just makes a ton of sense. You have Glenn Powell in there, like he's this super cool like anime intro that's like 2D-ish, and like
Yes.
it looks
Yeah, it shows his whole team, right? His
yeah,
previous team. It kind of reminds me of the stuff you saw in the N64 game of Star Fox, right? Like when you
yeah,
saw like a whole preview of his team and stuff. But dude, like the stuff with him in the ship and flying in space, it looked so
yeah.
awesome.
When you're
Man,
talking about visuals, right? You're like,
yes.
yo, the Star Fox stuff was legitimately like anything they were in the ship, like it's one of those things where like in the first one, you know how kind of Donkey Kong stole the show,
Yeah.
and you're like, but Donkey Kong got a lot more screen time. That's
Yes.
that's kind of thing,
Yes.
because like Star Fox, yes, he gets his moments and you get those cool things, but then you're like, oh, there's not enough time in this movie
Yeah.
to like also like let like there's no time for him. Yoshi's on screen
Yes.
a lot, but
Yeah.
when you talk about Yoshi, you're like, oh, what did Yoshi do in the movie? Like other
Yes.
than just
Exactly.
be there, right?
Exactly.
And then Rosalina gets introduced. She disappears through the whole thing. She's in the beginning and then like in the end, right? And you're like, okay, you're like,
Yep.
cool. It's a new. I wish I got to see more of her. And
Yeah.
I like
And
I
that's
imagine,
one of my biggest gripes too, Tex, watching this is the fact that you did want more of these characters. Like, why are you
yeah,
rushing me out of these moments? Why are you rushing me out
yes,
of these scenes where I do want to fall in love, with Star Fox all over again? Keep me there for a while. Show me why Glenn Powell is so charming and why you're paying him all this money to voice his character. It's the same thing with the other characters you mentioned. Yoshi happens so fast. It's exactly
yeah,
what I was getting to in the beginning of our conversation, that you're thrown into this desert world with Mario and Luigi, and there's this Yoshi origin just like happens in like a nanosecond. You know what I mean? It
yeah,
happens so quickly that you're like, oh, that was so anticlimactic, and then Yoshi just becomes a part of them all. Like, I wish they would have slowed down a little bit.
yeah,
By them trying to rush everything, I feel that they messed up their pace. It's
yeah,
odd to say that, but it's a visual thing when you're trying to rush something and the audience gets lost a little bit, they become a little concerned about time and what time is
yeah,
it and like what's going on here. And that was me for a little while because I, I just wanted to hang out with these characters more,
yeah,
especially when we got reintroduced to Bowser and Mini Bowser. We got some time there, but I wish we got a little more, especially in the
yeah.
beginning. I wish they had a little montage of Mario and Luigi doing adventures around the kingdom and
Yeah,
around
that
the
would have been
galaxy,
that
right?
would have been the perfect time for it, instead of
Yeah.
like where it's placed in the movie, like that scene, right? It's like right after Peach and Toad go off to head Rosalina, and it
Hmm.
cuts away from that to like
Yes.
go back to the Mario and Luigi, where you're like, no, stay with the thing we want to see, right? And
Exactly. Why are we splitting away from the action?
yeah, and and then you get like that would have been a great intro scene. Do Mario and Luigi in the Mushroom Kingdom, and then they go to the desert planet or whatever. It's fine. Maybe it would have been a longer intro, but like that's the thing. It's like we kind of just wanted stuff to linger longer, because like with Bowser Jr., that stuff's interesting. You get a lot of cool stuff with Bowser, but those character arcs don't really finish, because then it has to
Yes.
it has to turn back into a Mario game. Bowser has to be bad. He's got to do his usual thing because that's Bowser, right? Like,
Yes, dude, my wife was just saying that she really wished that Bowser did have that character turn in this movie
yeah,
because we were going in that trajectory and it was
yeah,
looking to be like, oh wow, we actually have a character here that is developed enough to display these emotions on the screen and you can get attached to him. You know what I mean? But then they kind of get scared of getting too real with the character and too different,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, because it's like, because yeah, like he's turning into the Bowser that would be invited to the Mario Party, that would be invited to play
Yes.
Mario Tennis and all the sports, right? But
Yes.
it's like, and Bowser Jr. is like, oh, it reaches a point where you're like, oh, okay, Bowser's gonna be like, yo, let's not do this, and then simple kids movie stuff. We're not asking for like it doesn't need to be Shakespeare, but like his character arc stops, like literally just stops
Yeah.
when he's literally going to start changing, and like, but with that being said, Arturo, I can't lie in that yes, we didn't get character stuff, but like the
You got the
nerd
cool
part,
scenes though, right?
yeah, like
Yeah, right.
the Nintendo nerd part of me when Bowser and Mario like have that fight on the bridge and
Yeah,
you
that
get
was
this,
dope.
you get dry bones
Double
Bowser,
axes.
yeah,
I
and like
love it.
and you get Bowser Jr. Using the paint and like the fight scenes and like and these fight scenes once again they were great in Mario Brothers movie. They were great in the first one. In the second one, they're like they really amped them up. Like
Yeah.
Illumination, their production team does not get enough credit for the way they do action scenes because like you're watching Despicable Me, you're watching Minions, and you're like, oh, yeah, this is just wacky fun, but you don't really see a lot of the good stuff they do with the character designs and movement and stuff like that. But
Agreed.
like with Mario Brothers Galaxy, like you straight up see all that. You see like how well these characters move and how well like yes, these are cool fight scenes. And as a Nintendo nerd, like I'm like, yeah, they're hollow. Like you're not watching them fight for a reason. But at that point, dude, I'm also like, like when you get characters like Star Fox in it, you get characters like Rob. There was apparently Arturo was telling me off air, just a little peek under the sheet here. Arturo was telling me off air that Little Mac was also in this.
Yeah,
Like,
there was a Little Mac and his trainer spotted in the city when Yoshi was running around and doing Yoshi things. They were spotted training real quick.
That's
Some
awesome.
savvy viewer took a quick snap there, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh my goodness, Tex,
Yeah,
Little Mac." Love
in
Little
that
Mac.
same scene, yeah, Little Mac's awesome Punch Out OG, literally one of the NES OGs right there. You had Donkey Kong in it. You had Luigi using the paintbrush to make a Mr. Game and Watch for like a hot second.
Yes.
And like it's
That's
and
what my
then you
son
see
said.
yeah, you see it use a little hammer like you would in the game, and it's like, and then you get Star Fox in it, and it's like, like if this means like this is Nintendo Universe kind of thing, this is pretty much a Smash Bros. Movie, already. But honestly, like if they kind of want to do that next, yeah, there's not going to be a story. But if Illumination does this well, they're like, it's going to be good animation. It's going to be cool fight scenes, right? And like, I think if you go into this with like that kind of mindset of like, I'm just going in to like look at cool stuff on the big screen, I think ultimately it's like, because like at the end too, post-credit scene, full spoilers, you get Daisy showing up, and you're like, cool, Daisy, but also you're like, Rosalina was barely in this, so you want to add another princess to this, right?
That's the thing, it's like we got so much that it's hard to digest after the first viewing. Like, oh my god, what did I just watch? There's so many characters that this Nintendo universe has and wants to put on screen, and I get it. Trust me, like I understand it.
You're right. It's too eager, right? It's
yes,
that vibe
it's like,
of like, just
simmer down now.
relax.
Simmer down now. All right.
It's like relax, because like part 3, like the only villain left is Wario. So like we're getting a Wario. We're probably getting his brother Waluigi, like because you kind of have to, because you're like, why not, right?
That's all you really have aside from, like you said, Tex, Super Smash Brothers, just legit Super Smash Brothers, a whole kind of contest in this whole galaxy.
Because why not? But like, but you're also right. It's like
write it, how they would get it on screen is like, I don't know how, but they'd find a way to do it.
Yeah, just do it.
Especially with all the money they're making from this one, dude. This one's making like record amounts of money at the box office, man.
Yeah,
so much money.
It sucks because like rounding out our conversation here, like I get it, right? You might have seen reactions online, you might have seen other reviews buddies at home of like trashing it, and like and you probably have a lot of these opinions yourselves, like, but just like if you're looking at it with a level head, I think yes, this is the Nintendo bias, but like it's not the worst. It's not even the worst animated movie I've ever seen.
I read a scathing article about this movie, a scathing review that I sent Tex off air, and I was like, hey, and this was before I even saw the movie, right? And I was like, this article is literally decimating this movie. And after I saw the movie, I'm like, what the hell was going on with that critic because, like, first of all, you're
Yeah.
being overly harsh. This is a
Yeah.
Nintendo movie, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I wanted a little bit more of a story because we did have that, and then like Tex mentioned, poof, it just disappeared, you know? So
Yeah.
that's why I was a little disappointed because we actually had a little momentum with Bowser there. But this critic was expecting Oppenheimer or something. I don't know, dude, but
Yeah.
it was
And
very disheartening to read that because
yeah.
now you just
Yes.
kind of see it's like, hey, like a lot of yes, we here on the Morgue, we are critics ourselves, but there are people out there that get paid a lot of money to do this, and they are looking at this kind of content through a lens that is unrealistic. This is a
Yeah.
video game movie made for children. For
Yeah.
children.
And even then, dude, like even then, like the kids movie thing is tough too, because I do also understand when people are like, oh, it's a kids movie, you know, and you shouldn't feed kids trash. They should also be able to enjoy good cinema, right? And like I get that argument, but also, you know, because it's like we got that with Sonic. Sonic's a good movie, right? And
Yeah,
you're like, yeah, but then
exactly. There's a time and a place for that, right? Like I said, I wasn't expecting Coraline walking into this thing. You know what
yeah,
I mean?
and
I
it's
wasn't
like
expecting Kubo and the two strings. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
this is
it,
the Super Mario
yeah,
Galaxy
it
movie.
just it sucks because you're like, oh, you wish it had higher ambitions, right? But then like, can you? I don't know if I can blame it for just doing what it's doing, right? Like it's playing it safe, it's doing Nintendo brands, it's
Yes.
Mickey Mouse. It's like, yo, this is like you can't do much with Mario, and I think they've accepted that, and they're just like, yo, let's just do Easter eggs and go wild. And you're like, can you fault them for
But
that?
that's honestly though, Tex, like that's as a video game community, that's kind of really all we have, especially
It's a
because of the
valid
content itself.
experience.
It's not
Yeah,
again,
it's
this
valid.
is not
Yeah,
Metal Gear Solid, you know, this is
yeah,
not
you're
Final
right.
Fantasy 7. You know, these aren't expansive stories with like grounded stuff going on, you know,
Yeah,
like it's not like that. Like this is a world where we're flying through plumbing tubes, you know, and you call the plumbers because you know they go through these pipes, you know,
yeah.
like this is
Levels.
where we're at, you know.
You
This is where we're at, Tex.
at the most you'll spend 2 minutes on a level max, like, and it's on a countdown timer to make sure you don't spend more than 3 minutes on it, like, yo,
This
like,
is yeah, you're never walking backwards in a Mario game. You know what I mean?
no, absolutely not. You That's a perfect way to do it. And you know how we do things here at the Morgue, folks. Here we have a rating system of pay for it, which is go out to see it as soon as possible, whether it's in theaters or through streaming platforms or whatever, you know, just you gotta see it. Then there's wait for it, which is, oh, you can wait on it a bit. You're not missing much if you don't immediately go out and see it. And then there's stay away from it, which is the most self-explanatory one of the bunch of just if you don't need to see it at all, you're not missing much. So Arturo, on our scale of pay for it, wait for it, or stay away from it, what say you about the Super Mario Galaxy movie?
Man, after this conversation, I'm gonna say it's a pay for it. I am gonna go ahead and put this on the screen and say it is a pay for it. It is a soft pay for it, but it is a pay for it. The visuals alone, dude, like I can't front, man. I was
Yeah.
lost a little bit, but like I mentioned, everything looks so good that you're just like, freak, man. This is just like you're looking at the details as a person who enjoys details on the screens and everything. Like you're just captivated by the awesome visuals that this team was able to produce. And I think that alone is worth the price of admission. And again, this is only the first step to Super Smash Brothers and what they really want to do in the future. So I think they tried something with the first one. They were like, let's see what happens if we kind of overload their senses here.
Right.
And honestly, the audience loved it because everyone showed up and they're still
Yeah.
showing up, you
I
know.
mean, I mean,
So
yeah. I
now I think Tex, the next one we're gonna get, it might be a little bit longer, maybe. You know,
Yeah.
it might be it might have a lot more characters in it for sure, right? But I
Yeah.
think at this point in time, it is what it is, right? It's a Mario movie. At least it's not the one from the 90s with John Leguizamo and freaking Dennis Hopper, right?
Yeah. Is I will also say pay for it. I will give that little I will get an asterisk and say it's a pay for it minus, as in like, you know, if you don't get to see it in theaters, that's fine. You know, this is one of those movies where like it is visual, like it's a visual thing. It's a visual Sonic experience. That's the other thing too. Like if you're a big Nintendo nerd, you've got Mario music throughout the whole thing. There are no like pop songs, there are no like cut-ins or anything like that. That's the thing, they listen to fans. That's the like that was a big complaint with the first one, is that they listened to fans and were like, yo, this is all Mario music, straight soundtrack, great visuals, great. It's just like Arturo said, it speeds through, and like it just needed a moment to breathe, because like even it feels like it ends suddenly too. Like they're just kind of like, oh, you know,
but
and it's a cute, like it's a cute little moment for like the 8-bit stuff. But then
I know, dude.
But it's also like, oh, this is
this
just
whole
a quick
conversation just means that we wanted some more, you know, like we wanted to be in this movie a little longer with these characters because it looked great, it sounded great, like everything was just going tip-top shape, and we wanted some more of that. And that's why we were kind of a little critical of it, because it's like, hey, slow down a bit, let's take a little breath over here and enjoy Yoshi. Like it was so quickly, but
it's nowhere near as bad as like you might see somewhere. Like it's not like someone, like one of the reviews was like, oh, it's AI, and it's like,
oh, come on.
Yeah, no,
that guy was AI. You know
that's
what
the
I mean?
thing. Like, there are talented people working on these things, and it's like, yeah, it might not be the best written story ever, but like, you can't look at this movie and tell me that like people did not put hard work into it. Like, no, like it's just. And it sucks that, you got performances like Chris Pratt in it, and you're like, oh, you know, and Anya Taylor-Joy doesn't get much to do, so she sounds kind of rough.
But again,
too.
that's because there's so many characters,
but
and there's so little time to spend on these characters, man. And you know what though? Like again, the visuals were probably the main reason why this thing was kept so tight in terms of like runtime, because it's just a lot of work was put into this movie.
They put in that work. You can't try and lie and say that it isn't. You know,
it's right there. It's right in your face. And buddies at home, let us know down below with a comment if you enjoyed the Super Mario Galaxy movie, or if you did not, and why. Please let us know. And thank you so much for listening. This has been The Morgue, where we dissect the latest and greatest in the world of entertainment. We are your hosts, Arturo Padilla, along with Mr. Nick Valdez. A big shout out goes to you guys out there for listening and for watching. We have all these episodes up on YouTube and anywhere you get your podcast streams. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and share. Leave some stars and a review. We would highly appreciate it. A big shout out goes to Delvirus for all the artwork you've seen in front of you throughout the years. And last but not least, always remember, it is a scary world, even in the Mario Galaxy, but we are here to walk you through it.